Okay, Arush, read for us question number 1. Just read question 1.
Michelle lost her job when the sugar factory closed. She wanted to start her own business, making and repairing clothes. All the main banks refused Michelle's request for a $100 loan, even if she had a business plan. Finally, a development bank specializing in microfinance agreed to lend her the capital she needed. That was 3 years ago. She now employs 3 other people and is planning further expansion of her business. A. What is meant by microfinance?
Right. Thank you. What is meant by microfinance? Today I am pointing at people. Don't run away from class, please. Just feel free to participate. Dhruv, what do you think? What do you understand by microfinance? Hello, you can turn on your mic. What do you understand by microfinance?
So this is like low level loans, like people who don't earn much and they need a loan like that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do we have anyone who wants to say it in the other way? Anyone who wants to add from where he ended? Okay. So what we mean by micro, just as the name itself suggests. So these are not really English words. Micro and macro, these are Greek words. The word micro means small. And then the word macro means large or big. So when we talk about microfinance, this is referring to the source of finance, okay, that gives or provides funding in small amounts of money. Is that clear? It is a source of finance that provides funding in small amounts of what? Of money. All right. So let me have Paul read question number 1B. Question 1B. Can read it for us. Hello, Mr. Paul. Read for us question number 1B. Okay. Let's have Rahima to read question number 1B. Read 1B.
Okay. Identify 2 reasons why Michelle needed $100 to start her business.
Okay. Thank you. What could be the 2 reasons why this person needed $100 to start up the business? Why do you think? What could be the reasons? Zahir, why do you think this person needed, this $100 to start up this business?
Because she needed the money to purchase the equipment needed to start her business.
Okay. All right, thank you. Do you have any other reason? Why do you think this person needed the money to start up the business?
To be able to purchase inventory.
To be able to purchase inventory. Okay, that's great. Any other reason? I think even if you are not there in class, you can manage to get this one, right? Okay, why do you think people need capital? Like, that's a question. Maybe let me rephrase the question for you. Why do you think capital is important to the business? What's the use of capital? What did we say about the use of capital? So the question is hinging around the need of finance. Okay. It is actually hinging around the need of finance. So you needed to remember what I said about the needs of finance before we talk about the sources of finance. I had time to explain to you why the businesses need finance. Okay. Why the businesses need finance. So this one was a startup business. Okay. So just as others have said, the person needed the finances to purchase inventories or to purchase some goods. They needed capital because without finance, they could not pay wages, could not buy inventory or raw materials, could not actually buy assets. So the capital was needed to start up the business, okay, and at least add to the working capital, right? So mainly the capital was needed for what? For starting up the business. That is to buy the raw materials needed, to buy the assets, and acquire the what? The inventories, pay wages where necessary. Is that clear? Hello? You guys, are you okay
Yes.
now? Yes, that's the reason why this person needed inventory, that money to buy the raw materials, buy the assets, buy inventories where necessary, meet the expenses. In general, you can just say to meet the what? To meet the expenses. Okay, then we can now move to the other part of the question. Okay. All right. The next question is to be read. The next question is to be, oh, sorry, I bypassed the question. The question is here. Should be somewhere here. Okay. This is the next question that we have. We need question. We're going to question number 2C, right? Number 1C. So we can have Raj to read the question number 1C.
So I can't see anything.
You can't see it? Or we zoom it?
So I can't see anything. My screen is black.
Oh, okay. Maybe try to log out, you log in again. You know, log out, log in again, because I'm sure. Is it the same to everyone? You're not seeing the screen?
Okay,
I
let me
can
try
see it just fine.
The others can see it. Okay. Can log in again using the same link. So basically, I have explained now the reasons as to why you need finance, right? I have said you need, as a startup business, you need finance to buy the necessary assets, to buy the, to pay for raw materials, pay for inventory, and meet expenses. Are you back? Are you now able to see the screen and read for us?
Yes, I can see.
No, you can read now question number 1C.
Identify and explain two likely reasons why high street banks turned down Michelle's request for a loan?
Okay, thank you very much for the reading. So, guys, what do you think? Anyone can turn on their mic and tell us.
Because startup businesses are less likely to pay back the full amount.
Right, that's
And they
very
don't have
powerful.
collateral.
Ah, and again, they don't have collateral. You have said a lot of points. One person, that's sharp. Okay, so just to expand on those before we expand on them, do we have any other reason different? Hello? Do we have any other reason? Ah, you guys cannot keep quiet. Zahir, what do you think? Dhruv, what do you think? There is silence. Are you guys able to hear me? Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was asking Dhruv to tell us the other reason. Tell us, sir, why do you think the banks turned, down the requests? All right. So just as said previously by Rahima, the startup businesses are risky, right? Ah, Prithviraj, what is going on? What are you saying? We have seen you crying. What's the problem? Okay. Anyways, so basically that's what happens. So number one, the small startup businesses, what happens that they don't have collaterals that may be needed, of course, to get the loans. The banks do not just give the loans to the companies that do not provide collateral. So usually what happens is that the amounts that these startup businesses need may not really be the amount that they can manage to support in terms of the collateral. So what I mean is that they may not have the collateral that may be equal or higher to the amount that they want. So what happens is that the business or the banks, they need the money, they need the collaterals whose value is actually way higher than the amount that someone wants. So that's what happens. So it's extremely important that the businesses, take into consideration. So the businesses take into what? Into serious consideration that. Then the other thing is that the small businesses, right? The small businesses may not even have proper organizational behavior. What I mean is that the way how they are structured they may be structured in such a way that they may not meet the demands of these institutions, because the institutions may come and tell them, can you give us the strategic plan that you have maybe for 3 years? And are you able to show us some projections? Are you able to provide proof that you are capable, of paying back that money? So you find it that in oftentimes, the businesses don't have the capacity, the small businesses. Let me have Maria to read question number 1D. Read question number 1D for us.
Michelle now wants to expand her business further, identify and explain 2 benefits of using internal sources of finance to pay for this.
Wow, that's great. So guys, this is the question before us. What are some of the, the advantages or the merits of using internal sources of finance, to start up the business? Why do you think you need the internal sources of finance? There are many of them that we discussed in the previous sessions. I point at people, please just tell me before I call out your names. Why do you think it's beneficial for you to, embark on or go for the internal sources of finance? Paul, what do you think?
So
Yes, go ahead.
you won't have to pay back anyone.
Right. Why? That's the benefit number 1. You don't pay back, isn't it? Because the money has come from internal, from within the business. Okay, that's great. Any other? Azulu, say something now. You have been here for some time. Because when I call your name, if you don't respond, it means you're not in class. You just logged in and left the computer alone. So you have to confirm that you are there. Okay, so it's important that when you are asked the question, when you are not sure with the answer, at least you confess, you tell us. It's important. You tell us. So that's what is there. Any other reason, any other benefit of, resorting for the internal sources of finance? You guys, these things, yeah? Why do you think it's important that we resort for the internal source of finance? Dhruv, what do you think?
On.
Why do you think it is beneficial for you to, resort for the internal source of finance? Hello? Okay.
Yeah, like if you use an external source of finance, like for example, you take a loan from the bank, you have to repay the loan with the interest rate. While using the internal source of finance, you don't have to pay any interest rate or pay back the money you earned.
Right, that's brilliant. So usually when you are getting loans from the banks, you have to pay back those loans with an interest, and usually the interests are higher, okay? Yeah, the interest rates are usually higher. But you know, when you go for the internal sources of finance, usually what happens is that things get just very fine because you don't have to pay back with with a lot of interest. Yeah. Any question? You guys are not saying anything, huh? Okay. At least you have gotten that one. So you don't pay back with an interest. That's what we have established. You don't pay back with an interest, and again, the man does not need to be paid back. Mostly, the money may be available when you need it. Okay, you don't really need to follow a long procedure. Yeah, that's one of the advantages. Maybe let's restructure the question. I want to re-ask this question in this other way. Why do you think, again, it's disadvantageous for you to, resort for the internal source of finance? What are the disadvantages of the internal sources of finance? I've restructured the question now. Why do you think the sources of finance that come from within the business are disadvantageous? Hello? Yes. Raj, read for us question number 1E. Are you able to see the screen? Question number 1E.
10 years after setting up her business, Michelle converted it into a public limited company to raise finance for business expansion. Do you think she was right to do this? Justify your.
Okay. So you guys, you have heard the question. You have heard the question that after 10 years of setting up the business, this person converted into a public limited company. You remember what we said about the public limited company last week? Yeah. So the person decided to make it a public limited company, which simply means everyone was able to buy shares, in this particular company. So it was free for everyone from the public to be part of this particular business. And for this purpose, the person was doing it so that they can raise, money for expansion. What do you think? Do you think the person was right to do this or not? You have to respond before I point at you. Was this a good decision? From what we said, was this a good decision? Hello, let me start from Rahima. What do you think? Just from what you think, I've already explained that to make a public limited company, just reminded you that it simply means that you make the company big and open to anyone. So anyone can become part of the owners of that particular company. Was that a good decision?
At some point, I don't think so.
Why do you think so?
Because maybe you might not agree with some of the things the other owners have to say.
Right.
Is that it?
Okay, thank you for that submission. Thank you, you have given that submission. So you may not agree with what other owners may want to say. What about to others? What do you think? Okay, so what happens is that you when you open the company to the public, then those people buy shares, right, from the public, and others may even buy more shares, such that you may lose the control of the particular company you get. That's on the part of the disadvantage we are discussing, right? You may lose control over the company. That is what we discussed previously. So you may lose control of that particular company. May lose control. Then again, on the other hand, as you allow, let me just continue from the same hand. Yeah, as you allow the others to come into that particular businesses, of course, just what someone has already said, you have to, the decisions have to be consultative, yeah? You have to consult from others when making decisions. Remember, this person was a sole proprietor, was just alone. Now, as you invite others to the board, on board, then you have to now consult from others and engage others. Yeah. So this is these are some of the reasons. But on the other hand, right, just the other hand, there could be some advantages. Let's talk about advantages. What could be the advantages, since we have just talked about the disadvantages of the same?
Wider range of skills and experience, maybe.
Right. So there is a wider range of what? Of skills and experience, which is very powerful. And this is exactly what we said, that you may not know everything, eh? You may not have the monopoly of all the knowledge and understanding, wisdom, but some things you may not know about them, you may be limited. So as you get to be limited, what happens is that you are encouraged, okay? You are seriously encouraged to make sure that when others come on board, you may have peace that is needed. Of course, you may have others bringing their own skills, their own expertise as well. Right. Then the other advantage is that the quality of decisions that are being made, usually they are usually is high quality decisions, as the decisions are always consultative. Then on the other hand, you can manage to raise more money, okay? You can manage to raise more money. That's the other advantage. You raise more money. So what that simply means is that there's just much more money that can come in when actually you go for this, because you are not limited, okay? Others will bring in some more money that you might not even have been able to raise. Okay. So I end here for today. I think we can end here. Before you leave the class, wait, I take register.